Okay. Oh my God, y'all. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh my God. I learned something serious today. Why do I look so big if I'm losing weight? I'm losing weight, but maybe it's the angle of my camera. I moved it. I learned the artistry of just listening. And I learned it from a dog. So my dog, when he can see what you're doing for 44 on the clock, when he can see what you're doing, he acts crazy, insane. I haven't had my house this quiet in a long time. Since I got him 3 weeks ago, I haven't slept at night. I wake up in the morning thinking I'm giving him what he needs, but he's very smart. So if you take thinking away from him, what if you take thinking away from a smart person, or what if a blind person? What do blind people? This question: what do blind people rely on? I can't see you, but I can hear you. I guess my point is, someone once told me a long time ago. And I don't really just kind of. I knew what it meant. So if I agreed, I lived by it, and I agreed. Watch, listen, and look. Notice the red flags. Oh, now that's watching. Listen to what people say. And speak with intent. Sometimes the speaking with intent is not so easy for a Sagittarian. Sometimes we just kind of blow up. I guess that's kind of the point of everything, is that my dog is a Cancer sun and I'm a Cancer rising, so I kind of understand him in a way. But he has this way that if he can see what's going on around him, he has one blue eye and one brown. Oh, it's kind of gray. If he can see what's going on around him, it makes him anxious. But if he can't see, then it calms his mind. It makes him have to listen. And you can't listen and think and speak at the same time. Draw yourself a triangle. How can you listen, think, and speak at the same time? I'm telling you the story to say. So in the 3 weeks he's been here, I have not. His energy is so high because he's a puppy, and he's very demanding. So if you don't do what he says, he does something you don't like. He's that smart. He really is. Like, a smart person knows a smart person when they see it. They know intellect when they see intellect. They know. It's like saying accept anybody into Harvard or Notice a smart person that needs to be in Harvard versus a community college. Not that community college is less than Harvard, but that's kind of how smart people think. Like, I'd rather go to a school that smart people go than to go to a school, than go to a community college. That's how they think. I'd rather be a doctor. How many doctors graduated from community college as a doctor? Or did they have to continue and go on to some elite school somewhere? And if you didn't, I sure don't want you to go and have surgery on me. I took his vision away. Not in a bad way or harmful. He was yelping, so I had been at work. And I got home, cleaned his kennel, fed him big food. And then when I let him out to play with, for a while, and he'd still be out right now. You all know this. He just kind of wouldn't listen to anything. Nothing. No, just me. Wait till she turned her back and I'm going to do it anyway. So I took his vision away. I put him in a kennel and put a blanket over it. A sheet. He hasn't said anything since. He hasn't made a noise. He hasn't yelped. And honestly, I'm not even doing it for me. I'm doing it for him because he's so stressed out. He's like a high-strung dog. So being that personality is personality, I base that on humans. Like, I'm a Cancer rising, so part of me understood that. And I was trying to nurture it, but it was the wrong thing to do. I'm a Sagittarius sun, Cancer rising. Leo Aries moon. Both. Pisces north node. Pisces fortune. Gemini south node. So I kind of understand a little bit of everything. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, home and family. So I kind of understand a little bit of everything about what he's coming from. Because he's coming from a place where he's been neglected, taken from his mama and abandoned. So he's scared of what he won't have. I was that way. I was neglected, coming from my mama and abandoned. So I have that same fear. That's how we connected. It wasn't so much a trauma bond, though. I'm correcting it because I love him and I know where he's coming from. And you know what? If I think of it in a legit way, my family tried to do the same thing. Like, when they don't understand things, they're doing it out of not understanding, which is the difference between them and I. Is that if I do something, I do it because I'm trying to understand you or where you're coming from. But when people that are stuck in their roots, they do it out of, I'm older than you. I didn't cloak my dog because I'm older than him. I cloaked my dog because I understand where he's coming from. That everything he sees, he wants. He's a seer, just like me. I'm the same way, just like he. If I see something, I get it because I want it. But spiritualists will always tell you what you see in others is exactly what you see in yourself. 10:33 on the clock. Most people don't understand the connectivity of the universe. They'll teach you a lesson through a dog if you don't want to be with nobody. A cat, an animal, and you can't get the shit right, so you take it back to the animal shelter, sell it, do this, do that, give it away. I'm channeling now, and I'm frustrated with channeling because when I channel, my vision goes blurry, and I have to snap out of it. It takes a long time to snap out of it. But I learned something today that I promise you, oh God, Jesus, this is the quietest my house has been in a week. And if I take the cloak off, you'll see. He's calm for the first time since he's been here. Because he's worried about what he won't get. If I fill his bowl full of water and fill his food bowl full of food to the top, that small dog will eat everything in there. And then if his stomach too full to ingest it all, he'll just go every 2 minutes and go eat and eat and eat and scared what he won't get. That's why I cloaked him. So he'll have to listen. Don't rely on what lack tells you, ever. Lack will tell you a bunch of things. Lack will tell you that there's not a whole 20-pound bag of dog food sitting in the cabinet. He can have as much as he likes. Lack will tell you you have to lick the water out the bottle as I'm pouring it, and then not only that, but you have to lick the water bottle as the water's coming out of the water bottle so you don't miss nothing. 1313. He's afraid of not having enough. So if you reduce that fear to listening, shut your mouth, shut your mind. Shut your mouth and shut your mind. Can you sit in a room with nothing playing, with your mouth closed and your brain shut off, and just listen to what's going on around you? If you're single, can you listen to the sound of silence? Who sang that? The Beatles? This is the sound of silence. That's truly how you meditate. Is by listening to the sound, 4:33 on the clock, of silence. Because if you're listening to the sound of silence, then you can't think. Otherwise, you're listening to yourself. I learned this all from cloaking my dog. But that's how I think. So I put a sheet over my dog's kennel. And this is the calmest I've ever. He's the kind of dog, if he doesn't get what he wants, he'll poop in his kennel. When he gets what he wants, he won't poop anywhere. He feels calmest and nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. He hasn't said anything. And he was like, all night. Y'all have heard him. I'd be like, be quiet. Now I've taught my dog how to meditate. Listen to the sound of silence. And sometimes silence can be really loud because you can go and, like, if you thought about it deep enough, if your mind was silent deep enough, you'll actually see what's wrong. And it's not like a wrong way. It's like when I started to listen to silence, it was like all the thoughts that I knew I should be thinking came up. It brought me clarity. That's why people tell you to meditate. You don't need no music. Listen to the sound of silence. You can't think, listen, and speak at the same time. Otherwise, that's the devil card. It brings anxiety, mistrust, dishonesty to self or others, habits, whatever you need. But if you need a habit to listen to the sound of silence, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. That's whatever you're thinking that you think it should come out of your mouth. Shut your mind off. You can't listen to the buzz of the refrigerator or the ticks it makes, or when the ice maker goes off and on. Listen to that when you meditate. Don't listen to all that other stuff, because that's the deepest meditation. It's not allowing anything else in. And that's the way in which you focus. You won't focus. You can't focus with 100 billion things going on around you. You just have to take a time to focus. When you say, I'm going to focus on completing this paper I have to for a job, you're going to do it. You like kind of literally stop thinking about everything else going on and you focus on this one thing. But what if that focus was you instead of that paper? And you say, I'm going to listen to the sounds that my ice maker make. But yeah, sounds all around you, like the AC, the music, the this. What sound do you focus on? Ooh, this is why I hate tumbling. What sound do you tumbling? What sound do you focus on if you want to hear a feather drop? Say you wanted to hear a feather drop, or that ice that just broke. Did anybody hear that but me? focus your mind, your body, your energy. That's how you meditate. And then when you wake up, you realize everything is matter, but nothing matters. Because if the refrigerator produces more ice, and it's a gasket of ice, you can only use so much. So you still end up on top. God, you just focus. When God says focus on yourself, people are so dependent on each other that the son decides he's not going to go to college, or the girl decides, I'm going to just stay with my parents because they need me. But that's like a whole day in that sentence. You didn't say, I need me, so I'm going to stay with my parents. You said, my parents need me. It's a whole day. How old are they that they should have had this constructed in the first place for themselves and not dependent on everyone else? Someone once told me a story that I just don't want to share, but it makes me cry because the mother works. The father decides when he's going to and not going to. And the mother works her ass off. But it takes the mother and the daughter and the other daughter and probably the son just to be committed in what he's got going on, because he won't go work for his wife. He never picked up his head and said, I'm going to go work for my wife so that my wife doesn't have to work so hard. Matter of fact, I'm going to go be the man and get a better job than she's got so I can provide the bread. Instead, he chooses ways in which has like a yin and a yang. You can win and you lose. And then another situation where a guy made a woman so comfortable in him. They made her so comfortable in him that as soon as he dug his shoes in somewhere that he could plant, he just stopped doing anything. I ain't gonna sit here, you know what I'm saying, because I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to get out of this house. I don't got no job. I ain't trying to get one. Ain't trying to help. Ain't trying to do nothing. I'm gonna live off her while she get everything. I'm gonna choose where a woman is rooted at. And I promise you, even an oak tree can get built up by its roots. Point being said, silence and meditation will see you through. Because if there's no other truth but you yourself and you, then you allowed that person to do that to you. That's the truth. I truth myself, like I allowed a lot of things to happen in my life. I just didn't, I can't even say oblivious to, because I knew it. I'm a seer. I know exactly what's going on. I knew when I said, hey, since you're so busy doing everything else, bring me back what I gave. Yeah, they brought it back. But it wasn't in the same condition it was left. And I'll leave it at that. It's just like you have to like take a moment to see yourself and then see the projection, that people's projection that they put onto you, what people project onto you. And then that's where you change. And that's where you win the tens, the 10 of wands, 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles, 10 of swords, is when you see what's been projected on you. God will only do things to help you, not hurt you. So he wants you to see so you don't make a future mistake. That's your future self. He wants you to just keep guiding through the hurt, the pain, the suffering, the good, the bad, the great, and the ugly. Just keep going, because if you don't know who you are, then you just kind of got to be supported by the wrath of God. But if you do kind of understand what I'm saying, then you're being supported by God, source, universe, angels, ancestors, gods, goddesses, your lineage. It'll run through your lineage like blood runs through your veins, and it'll come right to you like all the answers. I love me. Nowadays, even if people think differently, I dare you to detour me. Like, people take this as like a whole outer shell protectiveness or this or not, but it's not about that. It's not that. It's just that because I'm a light worker, I attract hurt people. People with childhood wounding that I cannot possibly fix, but I can let them know about themselves, and are they going to do something? Which I found out sometimes, on many occasions, they do, because I see you, I see into you. I don't see what you tell me. What you tell me, a pair of lips will say anything. Loose lips sink ships. And a pair of lips will tell you everything but the truth. Loose lips sink ships. That means if they gotta underdog you, they'll underdog you because they talk too much, not you. You didn't say nothing. It's your secret that they gave. So I guess that's what it's all about, is just taking my time to find somebody kind-hearted that's willing to give what I put in and won't leave me in the dust and not try to impregnate me with their sex organ, because I have a brain first. If you want to be here, can I love you first instead of you telling me where you need to move out of your house and into somebody else's? But you haven't made the money to the person that's offering you to let them stay there on a sublease. You don't even have the money for that. I mean, I refuse to be treated like that no more. And then you come in my house, show me all these girls on your phone, and then you want me to be impressed by it. Want me to compete for you? I just met you. Get the fuck out. Thank you for the loving. Get the fuck out. I didn't know that because you have a penis that allowed you to stay in my house. It was that night or two. On the weekend when I ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how I'm not afraid of my mind, like, for real. Like, so let me just go ahead and say it. Like, when I'm serious about you, you will know it. If I'm trying to get to you, you will blow it. If I just get you to the hospital, and a restraining order, then it's over. You can lurk behind every corner. I think that's kind of my point. My point is, so my ex is start coming back. I have one ex that I was married to for a while. You guys have already heard about that. I have another one. I can't really call her ex because it never really went nowhere, but third base. Whatever. I'm considering notches on my belt. But the point is, one was in a video from a YouTube video of you're a reflection of me, honey. You're a reflection of me. What's his name? His name is Kevin Gates. So she's Kevin Gates, you're a reflection of me. And it's crazy because I'm a Kevin Gates fan. Like, I love everything Kevin Gates made. That is the most liberated person I ever heard. Not because he talks about sex a lot, but because he's willing. They demolished sex ed in schools because nobody wanted to talk about it. And that was the most valuable subject in their whole library. Because even the smartest person in that class can be subject to lack of sex ed and end up with children before they even graduate. When you graduate, you got 2 kids. Kind of like that. Because you didn't learn about peer pressure and all that other stuff that women or men can do. Like, why is one of this my virginity to you? I was like, can we just Netflix and chill? And then other scenario, girl's like, I just want to go home right now. I miss my bed. Guy's like, so you didn't like the D? And then it's like, does it make us married? Guy's like, hell no. And then you're like, then can I just go home and be with my puppy? So I thought about a lot. And then there's the other scenario where a girl's like, I'm so in love with you, boy. But those words just aren't authentic. It's just words to a song that another authentic person made for you to copy. What if you came in with seriousness? You don't got to copyright nothing. I can't even write down a song. It's too boring. But I can make a hit in 4.5 seconds. I can make a song in 4.5 seconds. And stand here and just listen to the beat and then slam on it. Or sing on it, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm nurturing all my qualities. Make them into quantities. So that I have generational wealth, because it's not for me. It's for all that's going to come behind me. And if no one comes, then whatever happens of it, I'm going to make the best and lightest part of myself. Just appreciate God and social universe for the lesson. Because at that point, I can't put it in nobody else's hands but mine. And those who wished bad on me, I don't wish nothing bad for them. I just wish that people would understand the difference between love and cheating. And what is it? Polyamory and all kinds of different kinds of relationships out here. I know a man married to two women. Took one to one country, married her, and took the other one to the other country, married her. And they all live in the same house harmoniously. I guess sometimes I can't speak on what all on behind doors because people have a lot of skeletons. But these women are taking care of him. All he has to do is shuck and jive. One of them is a really successful person, and the other one, I don't know. I was told about him by several people. He'll say you're seldom ever see her, they said, because she owned her own stuff. They all live in the same house. I know because one of them kids said mama, so he's got several of them by one woman and several of them by another. And they all live in the same house, work to make money. I'm not saying that they're poor or unfortunate or devaluing them in any way, but what I have to say is unless you can split the penis in half, or I'm really glad it's working for you. And that's what I have to say. And if this intuitive reading kind of makes sense to you, then think about it. Like, why did they leave in the first place? And you're worried about when they're going to come back, your money, your finance, your fortune. But if you just live for that, you'll end up in lack in other areas of your life. It's not cool. That's what God is trying to literally restrict you from. Because what you lose was meant for you. What you gain was meant for you too. What you learn was meant for you. It's called karma. It's a learning lesson. Now I'm getting too tired to even read anymore, but the thing is, don't let karma catch up with you in an ugly way. I had somebody offer me on my phone that I just had to just change the number because someone was hanging out on my phone just harassing me about sending me their picture and them sending my picture. He picked random pictures off the internet. First of all, who the hell has random pictures of females off the internet? But if I ask you to show a peace sign or touch your chest or your right arm, you can't do that. So makes you think I'm stupid enough. I'm just not. So that's the point, is that I just want to wait for what is meant for me. And that will treat me as I am. Myself. I have a resting bitch face. It's not my fault currently, but in the future, it won't be so restful. It'll be a smile in every place, which I try to do to get myself out of betrayal. Not by like one or two people. I stopped talking to my entire family and everyone I knew. If I want to go out, I go out by myself. So that's kind of all I have to say. This is Ace One Hierophant. Thank you.